Hello, my name is Lee O'Reilly, and this is DUI 101. Today we're going to be talking about the ever-famous wet reckless and dry reckless. What are these offers? How do you get one? What are the advantages? Are there any disadvantages? What are they all about? Everybody seems to want a wet reckless, and if you go to DUI school, you're going to be hearing talk about wets almost continuously. A wet reckless is what it initially sounds like. It's reckless driving. It's a violation of 23103 of the Vehicle Code, pursuant to 23103.5. 23103.5 is a separate ancillary code that basically talks about the fact that there is alcohol present in your blood. Okay, there is alcohol in you and you're reckless driving. What are the disadvantages of a wet reckless as opposed to a normal DUI? Well, for both criminal law purposes and as well as DMV purposes, a wet reckless is a prior. If you get another DUI within 10 years of a wet reckless, your second DUI is going down as a second, with all of the punishments that are attendant to that. In addition to that, a wet reckless could affect your insurance. But the advantages of a wet reckless are quite serious. First of all, your fines are about half of what they typically are. Typical fines right now for a first offense DUI are going to run anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000. In Santa Clara County right now, a wet costs $900. I've seen other counties where a wet goes a little higher. I've never seen it higher than $1,300. And with a smaller payment that you have to make, when you break that out into monthly payments, you can make it in smaller pieces. A wet reckless you can usually pay off in as little as $50 monthly payments. Some counties in California won't allow you to do that for, say, an $1,800 or a $2,000 fine. They'll want $75 a month. DUI school. If you get a wet reckless, the court is only going to sentence you to a 12-hour, or what they call a 12-day DUI program. It's 12 hours of DUI school, as opposed to the 3-month program that you have to go into with the DUI. However, you're probably not going to get your driving license back unless you do the 3-month program. So if you're doing this on your own and you're not using an attorney, call the Mandatory Actions Group, and I'm going to post the number on the screen right now, and ask them what you have to do as far as DUI school is concerned. There is the big advantage to a wet reckless is that there's no sheriff work. There's no what they call in Santa Clara County weekend work, what they call in Alameda County sheriff work alternative program. Every county seems to have a different name for this, but it's all the same. It's 8 hours of work out there picking up trash on the side of the freeway. On Saturday morning, if you drive around and you see all these people on the freeway out there doing that, those are almost all of them DUIs. That's not all you have to do with weekend work, but the nice thing about a wet is you avoid all of that, and that's the big advantage. Probation for a wet reckless in some counties is the same as it is for a first offense DUI. That's 3 years of informal probation. I know some counties that give out 2 years of informal probation. Another big advantage of a wet reckless is that other states may not be able to figure out that you have what is essentially a DUI in California. Most states don't know what a wet reckless is. A wet reckless is a legal construct that's unique to California. And so when most other states or agencies are looking at your record, they'll pick up a wet reckless as reckless driving. That's especially true in Canada. Canada right now, if you have a first offense DUI, you cannot get into Canada for 5 years. And then after 5 years, there's a process that you have to go through. There are some forms that we have that you would want to fill out. And if you're doing that, if 5 years has passed since your DUI and you're trying to get into Canada, call my office and we'll send you the forms at no cost. But a wet reckless, Canadians don't pick it up. At least they haven't to date. So if you have business trips to Toronto or you have to be in Vancouver, your family's over the border, a wet's a big advantage in that sense. I had one Canadian client, and I negotiated a deal with him that I mentioned on our penalties tape. And that was, I got him sentenced. He had a high BAC, but I got him sentenced to a wet reckless, but on standard terms. And that meant he had to pay all the fines and do the punishment of a first offense, but it went down on his record as a wet reckless, so the Canadians wouldn't find out and suspend his license for a year. So all things considered, a wet reckless is a good offer. When do you get a wet reckless? Well, you usually get it when your driving is okay, you're not swerving across lines, you haven't been involved in an accident, you're not drunk driving. If a cop stops you for a rear taillight that's out, or for making a California stop at a sign, or maybe making an illegal left-hand turn, something like that a normal driver would do, a typical infraction, then that's not going to be evidence of bad driving. However, if you're speeding, if you're swerving, if you're out of control, that is bad, and that's going to kill a wet offer. The other thing you absolutely have to have is a low BAC. Most district attorneys will make a wet offer to you with a .09 or lower. In some cases, you can get a .10 or a .11, something like that. What you want to do is look at the video. We haven't posted it yet, but it should be coming online in about a week, called Rising Blood Alcohol. And check out that video and see if you fall into a situation where you have rising blood alcohol. That could also help you get a wet offer. But generally speaking, you're looking at a low BAC. If you're a .06 or a .07, yes, they do prosecute .06s and .07s. If you're a .06 or a .07, you're going to get a wet offer almost certainly. If you're a .08, almost likely. There are occasionally counties where district attorneys refuse wet offers on .08s, but that's very rare. .09, probably a wet. .10, you're probably out the range. You're outside the range. Now, a dry reckless. A dry reckless is a motherlode of all settlements in a DUI case. A dry reckless is not a DUI. A dry reckless is simply reckless driving. It's a plea to Vehicle Code Section 23103, but you don't include a reference to 23103.5. And a dry reckless is usually a fine. Out-the-door costs on a dry I've seen run anywhere from $400 to $500. 2 years of probation, you're out the door. Get your probation cleaned up the following year. We'll have a video about how to do that coming up. And you're done. A dry reckless is what everybody wants. When do you usually see a dry reckless offer? Watch our video on defending yourself in a marijuana DUI case. That's where I almost always get dry offers, particularly in Monterey County and in Los Angeles County. Anyway, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, you feel free to call us. Visit our website at dmvcounsel.com or call our office at 408-283-0574, and we'll try and answer any questions that you have. And thanks for watching.